Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to episode 7 of New Podcast Plus. I am your host, Omar. I'm an editor here at Culture of Gaming. This week we've got Tristan Reyes, Michael Robin, and Mike Zoke. So, Tristan, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them what you do here at Culture of Gaming.
Hey, I'm Tristan Reyes, and I joined Culture of Gaming 3 weeks ago, and I write all
Nice.
the news stories. Not all the news stories, a bunch of news stories on the
Just
website.
the good ones.
I like to pick good ones, I'll tell you that.
All right. This is going to be difficult because we got two mics. Michael Robin.
Oh, okay.
What do you do?
Hey, so yeah, as he said, my name's Mike. I also started about like 3 weeks ago, and I do some streaming. I generally try to stream it around like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Um, I'm trying to prepare to get good enough so that I can consistently stream Super Smash Brothers, like at the elite level. But it's a work in process. I'd also like to see if maybe you can get like a commentary, like live commentary on some of like the game tournaments or something. That's something I'll have to ask Anthony about, but those would be happening on the weekends, most likely.
Yep.
But yeah.
Sounds cool.
All right. And finally, Mike Soak.
I'm a writer for Culture of Gaming. Been here for a few months. I've been doing a lot of reviews lately. So
Nice.
that's been the majority of my writing recently has been reviews. So if you want to see what games are coming out and if they're good, you should check out my stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right. So besides our incredible writers that we have here at Culture of Gaming, we also have our social media pages. We've got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. On Facebook and Twitter, you can find us at cog.net, and Culture of Gaming is where you can find us on YouTube and Twitch, and then, of course, cultureofgaming.com. YouTube, I don't think the custom URL is set up quite yet. We still have the random letters and numbers, but we're at least past the 100 subscriber mark, so we're good there, good to go. Let's just go ahead and get into the news right away here. So obviously there's the Nintendo Direct, but we'll talk about that in depth later. The one of the bigger news stories that I saw this week besides the Direct was just when Imran Khan from Game Informer was on the Kind of Funny Games Daily show. He mentioned there's a Nintendo IP that has been kind of seen publicly as dead within the last few years. It's something that people would not be expecting whatsoever. And he said that even was viewed as very much canceled, but he's heard enough from sources and other people around Nintendo to believe that this mystery game exists somewhere. And that's really all that he said about it, but it's just kind of intriguing that there's something out there that we thought is never going to happen, that they're working on it secretly right now. I have no idea what it could even be.
Battletoads.
Yes.
The Flintstones.
Battletoads.
There's two
Flintstones.
major Nintendo IPs that are believed to be dead. That would be the obvious, and that's Mother and that's F-Zero. So they could finally be doing the Mother 3 Western port. However, I mean, I still think that's unlikely, but that could be it. It could be a new F-Zero, but they say, the part that gets me is they say that people, and it's not one that people would expect. When they say a dead IP, the first two that comes to everyone's mind is going to be F-Zero
Sure.
and Mother. Like that, those are the two that comes to everyone's mind.
The funny thing here is that this guy earlier in the week, or maybe after his appearance on this podcast, he mentioned that Nintendo was working on translating Mother 3 at some point within the last few years, but then they scrapped it. So
I mean, Mother 3 is
who knows?
pretty
Unless it
messed
took
up
back up.
places.
Yeah.
That it probably, it is about kids, and there's some pretty messed up stuff. Western audiences, they like
Gravity
to,
Falls, you know.
Yeah, they like to get upset about a lot of stuff. So
Adventure
Mm.
Time.
they would have to censor it a lot. They would have to censor entire scenes, not just dialogue.
I mean, just give it a T rating instead.
What scene in specific?
The entire island scene. So it's, you know,
I wish I played the game. Know what you're talking about.
it's pretty much.
Your mom dies.
They don't have to censor that. Your mom dies.
It's pretty graphic. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty graphic throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of psychological manipulation to young children, and it's it's bad stuff happening with little kids.
Well, it's just Lucas. Lucas is the only kid on the team.
No,
his
it's
dog.
it's the whole
Poor dog.
Mother squad is on the island.
Oh, okay.
They're all there. That's all.
Okay.
Well, I guess not Ness, but
Yeah.
Hard to
All
carry in there.
right. So this was that quote from Imran Khan came from Brian at Nintendo Everything, where in the same article they also mentioned where he was talking about how Nintendo was in talks with Square Enix about getting Kingdom Hearts 3 on Switch, but it just couldn't work for them just because of the how complex everything in Kingdom Hearts 3 is with the graphics and the physics and all that. But absolutely, it's more likely that 1.5 and 2.5 would get moved over just because, not 2.8 though, just because that includes part of the Unreal Engine 4, kind of like a prologue to Kingdom Hearts 3. So those graphics are a little more than the Switch could handle. It's kind of interesting though because 2.8 has Dream Drop Distance, which was originally a 3DS game on there. But yeah, what do you guys think about Kingdom Hearts on Switch, and do you think that Nintendo will try to throw some money at Square Enix to see if they can cut down Kingdom Hearts 3 to size so they can get it running on the Switch? Or
they might.
Seems a little bit late to the party, honestly.
The frame rate would have to be
How long have
bad.
these remakes been out for? Like, how many years? At least too long, basically. Too long in which these remakes have already been like played to death.
Sure.
I don't really know who they're
we're
really
getting
gonna
the Dragon's
attract with that.
Dogma remake, and that came out in 20.
The fans who want to play on the Switch.
We're getting Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen this year, and that originally came out in 2013.
I have it on the Switch, not in
Yeah,
EC
it's
anyway.
coming to the
So
Switch.
Yeah, the only thing that I could see bringing 1.5 and 2.5 to Switch is if they come out with like another, like, I don't want to say a spin-off because those so-called spin-offs are usually pretty important to the plot.
Right, yeah.
But just one of those side games, I guess you'd say, to the Switch, and then like have it take place after Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's like, okay, well then let's bring 1 and 2 over, and you can get all the background you need minus Kingdom Hearts 3, which you got to go to a PlayStation or an Xbox, I guess.
on the Switch.
Yes, Union Cross. Jeez, that game.
I haven't touched
Having
that.
nightmares now.
No, it's the, so there's a mobile game and a browser game, Union Cross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's okay. It's definitely a mobile game, but they did a good job moving Kingdom Hearts to mobile. It is playable, but it's just not the same experience that you'd expect from a Kingdom Hearts game on
It is
console.
playable.
the whole top-down thing kind of looks like the Chain of Memories on the GBA.
Yep.
Is it like that? Yeah.
I actually haven't played Chain of
sounds
Memories on the Game Boy Advance. I only played it on PS2, but it's a Nintendo podcast, so
Nice sprites.
hey guys. All right, so we can move on to the next bit of news. I figured I'd include this in here because it's important to someone, not necessarily me, but the way they revealed it made it seem like, oh, this is a big thing. It's like, ooh, what's it gonna be? It's Rune Factory 5, but
I thought it was
yeah.
funny.
So
I literally had to Google
I actually thought it was
what
funny.
factory it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was on the DS,
It's-
so
Yeah,
it's
I
gone
never really played DS.
it
games,
seems like it's a pretty popular RPG, but
in Japan.
yeah. So the big news is from
I want
Liam
it.
Doolin at Nintendo Life, saying that they expect Rune Factory 5 to be out by 2020. So not this year, but actually much sooner than most likely expected.
Pretty soon.
Because they just announced that it was in development this week, so that'll be pretty fast turnaround time. All right, and we're going to talk more about this game later, but Oatmeal Dome at Twitter, it's a good name, at Oatmeal Dome, all one word.
Cool guy.
He's been data mining Tetris 99 for the Switch, where just a quick background if you're not familiar with what that is yet. It's like essentially Tetris Battle Royale, where you're stacking up, and if you ever played Tetris Attack, the gameplay is similar to that, where you when you clear lines, it sends them over to your opponents and builds all these gray lines underneath them and messes with everything. But right now there's only one game mode, just the Battle Royale against 98 other people online. The game mode so far that he's discovered is Team Battle, where you've got two teams of... I'm not sure how that'll work, because 99 doesn't really split very evenly into two teams.
The one guy is God.
Yes.
And he kills 1,000 people.
Go for it, yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
It might just have 98 people instead of 99.
Yeah,
but
that
it
would
is
make
set up
sense.
so the two sides, and then you have your game part in the middle, and there's two sides. So they already have the format for
Right.
a team battle.
9v9.
Yeah, for sure. And then they also have computer battles. That'll include battle versus 98 bots, and then battle with 99 player, maybe 98 players and teams. And then they'll have marathon, which is your standard score attack mode in Tetris, where it's just kind of like you need to clear a certain number of lines and see how high of a score you can get, or just an endless drop of tetraminos. And they'll also have special events, which there wasn't much detail on. In the settings, I also found customizable computer difficulty, faster dropping settings, and then you might be able to change your starting level in marathon mode. And the max rank is 99 star. I don't want to go on too long about this. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's because you can't have 100 in that game, so it's got to be 99 something.
Like Mario.
I'll just move on to the next one because we'll talk more about Tetris 99 later on. But this is something that I've kind of been seeing gaining traction on YouTube quite a bit recently. This is from Emily Rogers and Nintendo World Report. It's looking like there may be a Nintendo VR something coming to the Switch within the next, who knows, but Emily Rogers was able to find this patent for the Switch that has this head-mounted device that's compatible with the console. A lot of rumors I've been seeing as well that it could be Labo related, which would make sense, kind of like the Google Cardboard. So, do any of you guys have VR headsets, and would you be interested in getting one for the Switch?
Price is what
It would have to be a big headset for the screen of the Switch to be inserted into it.
Sure.
So,
Let's see.
that'd be pretty cool.
As Mike said, yeah, price would definitely be like a pretty major factor.
And then
But
party support, games.
Yeah. But I just want to say that they probably already have something lined up, but they don't want to like send it out like right now. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they have something like fully ready to like ship out by tomorrow. But VR, it seems, is actually kind of like underwhelming.
Right.
So they're probably waiting to see like some more demand before they start shipping whatever they have. Theoretically.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say like
right.
anything on record officially, but
I know, because I remember seeing a couple of years ago, like when the Switch first launched, that data miners found some APIs on the Switch that would work for some kind of VR functionality on the console, and it never really got any further than that. But it's it would make sense that this is coming eventually, just because from the start there's been the rumors that it's going to. I think even before we knew the name of the Switch, people were talking about possible VR compatibility with Nintendo's next console, which makes sense just because VR was the kind of the big thing in gaming around that time. But yeah, I can't imagine. It's kind of heavy, but I'll just definitely build up your neck muscles holding that up with your head for hours on end. But the biggest concern, for at least for myself, is just because I've used the Samsung VR, which it works in a similar way that the Switch VR supposedly would, where you just slide it in there. And even then, like, because I have the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, and that was like a 1440p screen. And even with that right up against your face, it's that huge screen door effect that you always see or hear about. And then
you need a really good screen and really good functionality for VR. So I think that it might not even use the Switch itself for the screen. It might just use the Switch, it might have a wireless connection to the Switch instead, and it'll have a screen in the headset.
Yeah, I was thinking
that would make more sense.
That would be pretty big.
The Switch screen just isn't good enough for VR. Like,
right.
I love the console, but it's not meant for VR, so they'd have to do something else with that.
Yeah, if Nintendo could do wireless VR, I don't think that's gonna happen, but that would be huge.
They could do that if they want to,
You can dance.
motion controls, VR, It's the same to them.
Sorry, I do that every time I hear that phrase. My bad.
That's all right. I'll just remember that, not to bring it up again. All right. So, the last news bit of the week actually comes from Bill Trinan of Nintendo on the Nintendo Power podcast. He was talking about Astral Chain. It's not the typical type of game that you expect to see on the Switch. And then from there, he went on to Bayonetta 3, which is also being made by Platinum, just like Astral Chain. And then he said it almost kind of seemed like a throwaway comment, that he wasn't really thinking about it. And he was like, yeah, that's another one that people may not be expecting to see very soon, but it's coming up. And I don't know if he was saying that just to kind of be optimistic, or if he accidentally let something slip out. But
we're also going to talk about Bayonetta 3, but we'll talk about that later.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about that too later when we go to the direct. But yeah, I really don't think that there's much to this, just because they didn't share anything about Bayonetta 3 at all.
Other than they're making it.
Right. And then during the direct, they're like, it's coming. But yeah, it's still just interesting that he said this at all, that it's maybe coming sooner than people expect. But we'll see if that's all true. Maybe not, probably not, but that's okay. We still love Bill. Because actually, if you see very closely Tristan's photo right there, that's Isabel. That's Bill's waifu.
Oh yeah, it is. I forgot about that. I forgot about that piece of lore.
Oh yeah, he's obsessed with her. It's so cute.
He's my husband now.
Aww. Well, that's a great way to transition into the games coming to Switch this week, right, guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so on Monday, the 18th, we've got Trine 2 Complete Story. Tuesday, the 19th, we've got Blaze Rush and Steins Gate Elite. It's an odd name, has a semicolon in the name, but hey, what are you going to do?
It's based on the anime, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know anything about it, though, but yeah, it is.
You tell me. All right, and then Wednesday the 20th, I Want to Fly. Thursday the 21st, a lot of games, so strap in. Almost There, the platformer. Origami, Shadow Edition. Devil Engine. Gigantic Army, in all caps. Hell Warders. Cube 2, spelled Qube. I remember in that original version of that game was supposed to come to Wii U, and then it never happened.
I got it for free on Xbox a few months ago. It's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, I remember seeing it. Yeah, I remember seeing some gameplay and thought it looked like Portal, and I was like, oh, it'll be fun to try out.
If you're a Portal fan, then you'd like Cube.
Okay, nice. Raining Coins, Rotating Brave, The Journey Down Trilogy, I think I spelled this wrong. Yeah. Warplanes, World War II Dogfight, Xmorph, Defense, and then Yumeniki Dream Diary.
Yumeniki.
Sure.
That game came out like last year.
Okay. What is it? What's it about?
It's based off like that this old RPG game called Yumeniki, where you play as a girl who got locked in her room. So all she does is sleep and then have weird dreams. And then she solves weird puzzles in her own dreams somehow.
It's like a walking simulator, kind of.
Yeah.
It's more about like just
I suppose
exploring the world. Wait, is this a different game? It derived from the original, or is it just a remake going onto the Switch?
Let me look it up. Like...
Yumeniki Dream Diary.
I wish I knew.
I assume it's probably just the
I heard there was another one.
Oh, weird. So it's 2 words, not one. Huh, what do you know?
Okay.
But yeah, it looks like it's just the original ported over to Switch.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Dream Diary's 20.
And that was the last game of Thursday, the 21st. Oh boy. Now we're on Friday, the 22nd. Quest for the Golden Duck. And Tyr, Chains of Valhalla. Oh boy. Yeah, Tyr, sure, why not? TYR. Alright, and then the top 20 games on the eShop over the last week. So we've got a couple new ones on our top 20 this week. So we've got Final Fantasy IX, that comes in at the number 1 spot. Down 1 spot from the number 1 this week is Wargroove. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate also moved down 1 spot. Diablo 3 Eternal Collection moved up 7 spots because of a sale. So that's at number 4. Number 5 is New Super Mario Bros. Ultimate Deluxe. And I have some bad news, but that game was beaten out for the longest title on Switch by Dragon Quest XI. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
Overcooked 2 is number 6. Number 7 is Undertale. That's new on the list this week. It was not there last week, and that's also on sale. And then also the news about Deltarune coming to Switch, which we will get to.
That makes sense.
Number 8 is Stardew Valley. Number 9 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. 10 is Minecraft. 11 is Breath of the Wild. 12 is Robonauts. And the only game that didn't move from its spot last week, Rocket League at 13. Super Mario Party comes in at 14. 15, Hollow Knight 16. FIFA 19, kind of random. It wasn't on the list last week. I'm not sure if it just came out, but
there's been some new, controversy and news coming up about FIFA 19 recently that caused it.
Okay, interesting. Controversy is good. What do you know?
One of the players that was featured in died in real life, and then taking him out of the game, and then they also took the person who was on the cover off of the cover because he got accused of some stuff, and they replaced him with 3 other players. So
yeah, I remember that about
brought the
the
game
cover.
back into the public eye.
So were people getting the game to keep that character and then not update it or something? It's kind of weird.
Wow. Yeah.
17.
People were upset that he was being taken out.
Oh.
Huh.
Makes sense.
Yeah. 17, Downwell. 18, Super Mario Odyssey. The next one I have no idea how to pronounce, but I'll try. Number 19 is Fantaruk.
That sounds right.
That game is only 49 cents right now, so That's why it's up there. And then 20, rounding out the list, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Wow.
Yeah, go Pokemon. Can't wait for Gen 8. Okay. And now we're on to the fun part. Mike Robbins' favorite part of the week. Absolutely. So we'll just go in order in the announcements. So starting out the Direct, there was Mario Maker 2. If you want to check out some super cool in-depth analysis on the trailer that was released, Ethan
Crazy
Braun
analysis.
Yeah. Ethan Braun released an article on Culture of Gaming, just titled A Complete Analysis of the Super Mario Maker 2 trailer. And that game is coming out in June 2019, much earlier than I expected it, honestly. So, what are you guys thinking about Super Mario Maker 2 so far?
I'm excited. I never got to play the first one. I almost picked it up for the 3DS once, but then I heard that the 3DS version wasn't that great, so I was like, maybe it'll be released on the Switch at some point. And apparently Mario Maker 2's coming, and it looks a lot better than the first one did, so that's probably where I'll start.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice quality of life update.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The big interesting thing that I've been hearing people talk about is if Nintendo will find a way to move the old Mario Maker stages to the new game. I'm not quite sure how they do that. It seems unrealistic, like an unrealistic expectation.
They would pretty much have to integrate like the old servers into the new game.
Right.
They would have to integrate some way for you to be able to go from Mario Maker 2 into Mario Maker 1 without going into the full game.
Yeah.
Mario Maker 1. Like they'd have to be able to get it so you could go here. You could go into this part of Mario Maker 1.
Right.
I highly doubt that that's going to happen because Nintendo Online leaves a lot to be desired.
That's for
honestly.
sure.
Hey man, we got Tetris 99 now. It's
Want your levels back? Make it again. Chumps.
Yeah, I mean, you can even make them better now, piece by piece, just because there are some new things to throw in there. Come on, guys. Don't be
Yeah,
lazy.
just make them again.
Come on, Nintendo makes these games by themselves, piece by piece, so you can too.
Oh boy.
No, that's
Right.
obviously joking, but...
No, I'm serious. Make it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, it's just nice to see, though, that it's not like a lot of the other games that were either ports or sequels from the Wii U. Not just like, hey, we added the Mushroom Crown or whatever to make Toadette into Peachette. They actually added things that will change the way the game works. So, yeah, it's
Play as
looking to be
Bowser.
a good one. Yeah, that would be neat. Yeah, there was actually, I should mention that. I'm sure it's a part of Ethan's article, but yeah, there have been there's been a lot of speculation about the new game Mario Maker 2 being multiplayer, having some kind of multiplayer aspect, just because Mario and Luigi were on that kind of, I guess you could say, the cover there. And then also in some of the promotional images they released, you can see Toadette and the Blue Toad, and I think maybe even Peach in the background.
That sounds miserable, not gonna lie.
Why? Because of Blue Toad?
My understanding is that the base experience multiplayer is already miserable. So when you combine that with like all these like crazy like bullet hells that whatever people can imagine,
Okay,
like,
no.
the darkest corners of imagination.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Imagine this
Yeah.
like Tetris 99, but with Mario Maker.
Sure. Yeah, why not? Have any of you guys ever played Ultimate Chicken Horse?
Ultimate what?
You want to be
Ultimate
like
Chicken
that?
Horse.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought I misheard
I
you,
heard
but
that game.
apparently I heard you correctly.
That game's awesome.
Yeah, so Ultimate Chicken Horse is a platformer.
Platformer.
Yeah, where you build the level as you go through. So the main mode that most people play is I can't remember if it's called party mode, but so you have a group of people, and they have a bunch of different levels that you can choose from, and then you get like turns, I guess you could say, and there's just a big box that appears on screen with a bunch of different platforming elements like platforms, conveyor belts, spikes, all different kinds of traps and things to jump on. And then you go, and then the level starts once everyone has placed their pieces, and then you try to get to the end using the pieces that you've placed. So it gets pretty competitive and unfriendly, but it would be kind of cool if they added something like that, a mode like that, to Super Mario Maker, where you're building the level and you're trying to block other people out. Yeah. Just another fun way to play the game, but
I love that.
We'll see. Okay. Got some information on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 that's coming in summer of 2019. They showed off Captain Marvel. They talked about how you can team up with the Avengers, the Defenders, the X-Men, everything Marvel. Somehow it works in video games, but not in movies. I'm sure it's much more difficult to get all the licenses together, because supposedly the movie licenses are owned by every company in the world separately, and then video games are just owned by Marvel.
Sony being weird.
So, do any of you have experience with the Ultimate Alliance games?
Yeah, I've talked. It was on my top 5 most anticipated Nintendo games for the year on the previous episode. But yeah, I'm really excited for this game. It looks awesome. I know a lot of people aren't down for the graphic style that they chose, but it looks like a comic book to me.
Right.
So I'm very okay with it. I'm excited that they're incorporating X-Men and stuff into it, because I like the X-Men.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Nice to see Wolverine is friends with the Hulk and Iron Man. I was so concerned. In the movies, you never see them together. You kind of worry that things might not be great between them, but
yeah, Deadpool took over the X-Men mansion.
Right. Let's see. And then after that, we had Box Boy plus Box Girl, which is coming out April 26, 2019. Never played one of these games before, but it looks like a cute little platformer.
I love Box Girl. Such a good character.
Oh, don't tell Isabel.
Has a bow on her head.
I actually never realized that there was actually a bell on top of her head until I saw that. But yeah, it's bizarre. And then
Isabel Lord.
After Box Boy plus Box Girl, and then the reveal of the new character Cutie, the tall one. We had the update, sort of, more like an announcement of update 3 for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This was definitely Mike Robbins' favorite. So tell us why you really liked this reveal.
All right, it's just.
Can I say something too?
Sure, I'll let him go first, because if you get me started, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
He's drinking decaf so he doesn't go too crazy.
Yeah.
I like the part where they showed the backside of Joker in the trailer.
Yeah, that was my favorite too.
Incredible.
And they were very vague. He's like, he's been training in secret. I'm like, it's not very secret. I played the games. I know what he's doing. So, other than that, backside Joker, everybody. Yeah, what do you guys think?
That's his best side.
Honestly, I'd have preferred if they just didn't have the Smash Brothers thing in the direct. I'd have preferred if they just said nothing. Really, because it's like, look,
they teased you.
It's worse than like.
That's all they did. They teased you.
You didn't like Joker's character model?
I was fine with the reveal. Super Smash Bros. Ever since it was announced has been hogging every direct it's been in. We got an exact release date for Joker. That's all I needed.
Not quite.
3.0.
Not quite
there's
an
no-
exact
there's no
release
exact-
date.
I thought they
Release
put
date.
in an exact release date for Joker.
No.
not the whole
Yeah,
update.
between spring or June or something.
Nope.
They just said before the end of April, so that's today.
Close enough.
Wait,
It was just so nothing. It's because okay, I'm a little biased just because I've been
Show me his
jonesing for
persona.
Joker's moveset, and I was really hoping that this would be like at least the reveal of the moveset. Fine,
Mhm.
okay, they don't have anything ready for that. Okay, cool. So just say, fine, we don't have anything ready, but don't worry. Here's a back shot of his backside there. Cool. But then like they went on to say like we have other stuff in plan for you. What are they? You'll just have to wait to find out. That became like a little like my own little meme because that one phrase just it's so dumb.
It's an
Why?
ongoing theme of the direct this week. You like,
Yeah.
we'll
That was
talk about
like-
later.
They were like, "Hey, Bayonetta 3 still in development. Can't show
We'll get to
you.
that. No, we'll
We'll
get to
see
that.
more later."
And it's like you don't have to have anything like, and you don't have to have any sort of CG ready or any sort of cinematic ready or anything.
Right.
But like how like theoretically, okay, let's say hypothetically the character was Sora from Kingdom Hearts, right?
Woo!
How hard would it be to just drop like a Kingdom Hearts logo? Done. That's it. And the whole internet explodes. And like
So
it's so low effort.
I want to
just-
talk about what I think they're gonna do for the reveals. So I don't think they're gonna show any new characters until E3, and then they're gonna reveal 2 there, and then they'll reveal
Okay.
1 in September and then 1 in December after that. Just because that's kind of an event. Every 3 months you get something new revealed. But I kind of don't want that to happen because I want to find out earlier who is going to be coming in the fighter pack and if there's going to be maybe a fighter pack 2, but
I think they will.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, they didn't name it 1 for no reason, right? It's like there's just
The
fighter
one, it's
fighter
only-
pack 1 and then nothing else.
No, the one.
It's
That's-
like if they originally released The Last of Us as The Last of Us 1. And it's like, okay, where's the next one? But
That would change our
Where's the next
perception on every single game if that were true.
yeah. But yeah, as a big fan of Smash Bros, it was kind of disappointing that we didn't get more details, but it's at least it was nice to see that Joker exists and is not just a figment of our imaginations. He has a real 3D model, but I kind of doubt that April timeline just because they didn't show anything.
When they turn his face around, it's just like a me face on his head.
Because when they
They could have.
when they do that kind of stuff, all that tells us is that they don't have anything ready to go to
Right,
really
yeah,
show us,
I
except
guess-
that we
I
built
guess-
the character model.
He's still
Some
training.
of my
us.
thoughts is that like there's no way that they're ignorant that people at least want to see like his moveset.
Hmm.
So they know that like there's this big anticipation for something, any
Right.
kind of news. And when it's fine to not have anything ready. It's
Mhm.
another thing to like blatantly just sort of expose yourself and at the same time like promise more
It's the family show.
to the like no
It's not promise, you know they'll show more because they have to.
I mean, I know he's wearing a trench coat, but come on.
What? No. That's
Also
not-
do for Smash.
You're misconstruing my words. But it's
my
You're
job.
the one making this an unfriendly, an unfamily friendly podcast.
Matrix for Smash.
Come on, expose is pretty neutral. That's pretty
Yeah.
like it's like I'm exposing this person as a fraud kind
Right,
of thing.
right.
But it's another thing to like have. Wait, I lost my train of thought,
Sorry.
man.
We got you.
But yeah, so they kind of just reveal that they don't have anything planned, just in spite of all the anticipation.
Mhm.
And then to make matters worse, they just sort of like add more fuel to the fire by saying like we got more stuff, but we're also really not ready to show that. Like,
Yeah.
so it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on their part. I don't know.
Yeah,
They really should have just said we don't have anything.
It makes
They're
me
trying to be
wonder.
transparent with us. They know they have stuff, you know. I mean,
It's kind of like what they did with the spirits mode, where it was like, here it is on the menu. We're gonna blur it out. But no, if anything, I would expect no later than March to actually have any gameplay revealed, just because there is Atlas is throwing this big fancy event relating to Persona in March.
Also part of the reason they were, Atlas wanted the Joker reveal to be for their announcement in March.
And then it could also tie in with a possible Switch release, which I'm hearing a lot of people saying it's never going to happen. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that it's going to happen. I don't know exactly how their contract with PlayStation or Sony works out, but if it's something like Persona 5 Crimson, where it's like a definitive version of the game, I don't know if then Sony has exclusive rights to that. But I guess we'll see in March. A little less controversial topic came up next with Captain Toad DLC. Everyone loves Captain Toad.
Yeah.
It's such a good game. Such a good game.
Yeah, it's just some extra levels there that are coming out later, and then free multiplayer where someone else can play as Toadette while you're playing as Toad, or vice versa for the Toadette levels.
Yeah. I'm really excited for the co-op. This is a game that me and my girlfriend play together a lot, because it does have co-op right now, but one person just kind of turns the world and can like click on enemies and stuff. So us both being able to play the game together and being able to interact with the entire world would be awesome. Like, we love this game. We just haven't gotten very far into it despite owning it for like a year now, because one person can only click on enemies for so many hours before it gets a little tiresome.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like the Mario
That's
Galaxy.
for sure.
Where it's like one guy controls Mario and the other guy controls the cursor, picks up star bits. I'm helping.
Wait, I think everyone's saying we got audio issues right now. You want to check on that?
We do?
Yeah, like
Oh no.
apparently, like Anthony can't hear me in Mike Zoke right now.
Interesting.
So,
Let's turn that up a little bit.
I heard him very loud and clear though when he was yelling about Joker. So maybe.
Well, I'm Mike Zote.
Oh, got him.
Yeah, that's another Mike's Mike Robin.
I'm getting. Look, I still don't see his picture on my stream. Sorry, but it's fine.
I don't see you're just Isabel, so I mean, yeah, the picture we can't see.
You're right. I can see him on stream now.
Well, let's keep on pushing through. So after Captain Toad was some information about Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is the Castlevania sort of type of kind of game being made by the original creator of the series. That's coming out in the summer of 2019. Never really got into Castlevania, but this looks like a pretty cool game. Nice action, side-scrolling. I'm not going to use the word Metroidvania, but
You just did.
let's pretend I didn't. I mean, no one can hear me, so no.
Right?
Oh man, looks like other Mike Zoke is still having some audio issues, apparently.
I changed up my input volume all the way. I should be good.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, just put the mic in your mouth and we'll be able to. But no, as close as you can get it, that'll be good. Does anyone have anything to say about Bloodstained?
I do not.
Oh man.
It looks like a good Castlevania that's not Castlevania that we're gonna get in a while. So,
Is it? I just wonder if there's still like a. I don't like to overuse the word market, but just like is there still like an audience that this is like appealing to? You know,
Yes.
I mean, like
Absolutely, yeah, because the game
I have
was...
many friends that are very about Castlevania games, and I've been trying to steer them towards Bloodstain because I hear, hey, it's basically Castlevania. So if you like
Okay, right
Castlevania, play Bloodstain.
Character design looks nice.
Yeah, and then one of the
Gross
Bloodstain
tattoos.
games was just free on Xbox, I think, or is currently free. So
Yeah, and then besides that, there was also the Kickstarter campaign, which got this game in the works to begin with. So yeah, definitely a big fan base out there, and a bunch of crazy people, the same crazy people who went wild when what's his name, Simon and Richter were announced for Smash.
Crazy people, huh?
Yeah, people who like video games are crazy. It's fine.
exactly.
And angry.
Yeah, mostly angry.
Mostly angry.
All right. So after that, we got a couple of Dragon Quest reveals, or at least announcements, I should say, because one of the games was the first game announced for the Switch. But Dragon Quest Builders 2 is announced for having a release date of July 12th of this year. And then Dragon Quest XI S Dawn of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition, also known as DQES:DOAEADE, was announced for fall 2019.
Oh.
It has a really long title.
That's a Kingdom Hearts title right there. That's a
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts title. That's the first
358.
thing I thought when I saw that.
Yeah.
358 over 2/5 squared pi.
Yeah.
Final mix.
If you ever need to know how to say the name of that Kingdom Hearts game, just ask Aiden Simmons. He knows all about Kingdom Hearts.
All about it.
So the kind of the big things that came out of this announcement were the 2D version of the game, which was previously only available on the 3DS version of the game, and then the fully orchestrated open field and battle themes, which I have never played Dragon Quest XI, but apparently it was pretty bad on PlayStation.
Right, yeah.
There, I should say the music was, yeah.
Yeah, it was one
The
of the
mixing
biggest
was bad,
complaints
apparently.
about the game was the music. So it's cool to see that they're improving on that with the fully orchestrated soundtrack.
That's
Mhm.
good.
And if you want the bad music, they give you the option to
Right.
switch back to it if for some reason that's what's up your alley.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia for a game that's not even a year old.
Yeah,
Making a remake on the
absolutely.
Switch, yeah.
There is
Yeah.
one other point that I forgot to take note of, but they also are going to be adding the option for the Japanese voiceovers in the American version.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Oh, and all the new character specific chapters that are being added to it too. So it's
Right.
getting the added content that the PS4 version won't have either.
So if you're like me and you didn't pick up Dragon Quest XI for the PS4,
Or PC.
then go ahead, get it.
I might give that a shot, but
Yeah.
that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. At least on like the developers' end. Obviously, like Nintendo had nothing to do with it. It was just sort of
Right.
like, yeah, okay, cool. We'll pick up this IP and give us the definitive edition.
I
But
mean,
Every console will have the definitive edition eventually, I think.
there's a chance
would
that
make
they'll
sense.
do
Obviously.
what they did with Final Fantasy 15, where they'll release this huge update post-release, and they'll offer it for like $10 or $20 that people on the other platforms can pick up to integrate it into their platform.
I hope so.
Just the post content. They'll
Yeah.
pretty much brand it as a DLC for
Free
the other
DLC.
platforms.
Yeah.
It probably won't be free. It'll
Yeah.
probably cost you money.
oh,
That would make
All
sense,
right.
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just such a storied RPG series, and then it's finally coming to the Switch after I remember the original reveal of the game. They said, "Yep, it's coming to Nintendo NX," and then yeah, that's because before they had the official name for the
just like
console.
Just like
Oh
the
my
next
God.
Xbox is Xbox Scarlet.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
not going to
that's-
be its actual name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's its code name.
Awesome.
The Xbox One X.
Call
is
it that.
Xbox
It's gonna
Scorpio.
be all red plastic. No.
dude.
I heard that Japan loves Dragon Quest. I
Oh.
heard that
They
like
do, yes.
when it comes
Yeah.
out, it's
Yes.
like a holiday, like a national holiday. Like
Yeah.
everybody, school's out,
dude.
go buy Dragon Quest and
That
play.
Toriyama style is really popular there, dude.
You know, if they just did that over here in the U.S., things would be so much easier. Just give us time off of work when there are big game releases.
Exactly.
What is our equivalent? Do we have one? It probably isn't necessarily Smash.
No, don't
For
stop
RPGs, I would say,
Elder Scrolls.
yeah, Elder Scrolls.
No, not necessarily like RPGs, but just
It'd
like
probably
when a
be
game
Call-
comes out, it's like a holiday kind of
It'd
thing.
probably be Call of Duty
Or Madden.
or Madden.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as
Just
exciting as
Call of
Japan
Duty,
likes games.
every
but-
year
Even though
Call of
yeah.
Duty is the best-selling game. So.
Yeah. It's probably it'd be Call of Duty. 2018, it was actually probably Red Dead 2.
Now it's Apex Legend.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's just coming out every day. So.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Apex.
Release party every day, man.
All right. So after that, we had a much lower action game in Disney Tsum Tsum Festival. That's coming out sometime in
Who wanted
2019.
this game?
Who knows?
Disney fans, probably.
This game looks awesome.
It's your first
Alright.
power up in Kingdom Hearts, so, like, I don't know.
Actually,
This is
to be honest, that puzzle game looks actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, it
but
looks kind of cool.
the other thing that
I
looks
like
like Pac-Man, not so much. But
Yeah.
and the little characters almost remind me of the I think they're called the Dream Eaters and Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what they were designed after or something, but yeah. And then after that, we got our reveal for more Star Fox and Starlink. So it's pretty much just a Star Fox game now on the Switch, if it wasn't already.
Yeah, if you're playing Starlink as anything other than a Star Fox game, first of all, you're doing it wrong, and second of all, what's wrong with you? Okay, it's Star Fox, and you're playing it on the Nintendo Switch. Okay, why are you touching all of these other characters that have no background or anything, and they're dumb? They're stupid.
That's the point of the game. They're gonna make their own background by playing as
No.
it.
Yeah. Well, hey. Well, Mike, if it's any consolation, at least
here it
they
is.
added Starship Racing. So
Yeah, they did.
so maybe that means you're much dreaded.
Free.
Yes.
My much dreaded Star Fox racing game should not come to reality then.
Possibly.
But that also means I'm probably not getting an actual Star Fox
Then again,
game either.
it could just be the prototype for the actual racing game.
No. 'Cause I was originally saying that Starlink was just a prototype for an actual Star Fox game. So if that is true, that means the racing section would just be an optional section of the game, which I wouldn't mind it as like a mini game in a Star Fox game.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't want an entire Star Fox game that's
How about-
just racing. I hate racing games.
How about Star
But it would be
Fox?
refined racing.
Star
so you'd
Fox
like it.
F-Zero crossover.
No.
That's the whole point, dude.
What about
That's James
Star
McCloud.
Fox
No.
James
dating
McCloud.
simulator?
No.
How's that sound?
James McCloud.
Sorry,
I-
what was that?
How about a Star Fox dating simulator?
Yes.
Go
Yes.
for it.
How's
Give
that
it to
sound?
Yes.
Now.
Okay, everybody.
Slippy, come here. But yeah, no, like
Slippy fans,
Jack
huh?
and Daxter did it too. You know, they had these good
Yeah,
games,
dating sim? What?
and then no, they had a racing game, even
Yeah,
worse.
yeah,
Dating
yeah.
sim. They had a
They
racing
did.
game,
Huh.
and it was bad, and I hated it, and we haven't seen like anything since. Because racing games kill good franchises.
You're right, actually.
Well, let's-
Yeah,
not
Mario
Mario.
Kart Deluxe kills.
I said if it's not Mario.
No.
I said if it's not Mario.
Crash Team Racing, get out of the way. We got Jack and
I
Daxter
mean,
Racing.
after Crash Team Racing, we didn't really see many
Yeah.
good Crash games. So
Not
I would
too
say
much.
that was true.
I never thought of it that way, but there is
yeah.
like a sort of subconscious thought that goes through my head whenever I
Yeah.
see an ad for like a racing game on like an IP, and I think like, wow, this series is dead. This is
You're
really
not Mario.
in the toilet.
I think even after Little Big Planet 2, they came out with Little Big Planet Racers or whatever. So-
They did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then
right.
3 was very poorly received. Think you're onto something.
Racing game of major IPs kill games if it isn't Mario. That is the rule. Scientific theory.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we discovered this now. Okay.
Pokemon
So
racing.
Nintendo, now that you know this, cancel all
Stop
work
it.
on Star Fox Grand Prix.
Oh, yes.
Stop it.
That.
Yeah, we got some better news after that.
I don't know
Rune
about that.
Factory 4 remake, everyone. Woo! Yeah. And
Any
Rune
other
Factory
waifu farming
5 is in development. Hey.
Yes.
Like
Resident
I said, I
Evil
literally
5.
had to Google. I had to Google what the series was.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a fun game, but I've just never played it, and I maybe will at some point. Who knows?
If they had to bring an old, DS time RPG to the Switch, why isn't it Golden Sun? That's my question.
I heard it's like Stardew Valley, but it's...
Hey, maybe that's the game that we were talking about earlier that was thought to be
Yeah,
dead.
I'd be fine with that. Give me more Golden Sun. Since you couldn't make my boy Isaac playable in Smash. Only
Well,
Can't
character I
make
wanted.
Golden Sun fans happy.
You can't.
I actually
How about
I'm
Dark
sorry.
Dawn, and then we're all upset because Dark Dawn was bad and can't put him in Smash.
poor guy.
Sad.
His giant hand.
All right, and then after Rune Factory announcements that we got there, we had another RPG reveal called Oninaki. That's the whole name, Oninaki. It's from the makers of Lost Sphere and I'm Setsuna. It's coming out in summer 2019. It kind of looked like some kind of anime type RPG with
JRPG. Yeah.
yeah, just kind of your basic Square Enix RPG. Maybe I don't want to judge
Looks
it before
neat.
I play it, but yeah, it doesn't look too
Right.
bad.
Yeah. That's
Looks
the thing. though. It just seems pretty basic for
Mhm.
now. I mean, like it seems like it has an interesting premise, but I don't think they showed like enough for me to actually like fish interest
Right.
in it.
Yeah, same.
Same.
I'm sure more will come out in the coming months up to its summer release. And then after that, we got some more information about Yoshi's Crafted World coming out on March 29th. We got a demo too. That was pretty fun. He's so
I haven't
cute, that
touched
little
Yeah, same.
felt Yoshi.
Yeah.
And then they also revealed alternate costumes that you can get for Yoshi, which is pretty much just him holding up a juice box around him or a milk carton or whatever.
Yeah, but
he
there's
seems to
180
find.
costumes, so
Yeah,
108 juice
gotta be a
boxes.
lot of stuff.
yeah, and
Got
they,
milk?
I think they said that I don't remember this exactly, but I think you unlock them with coins.
Maybe,
Essentially.
yeah.
Sure.
Because if it's anything like Woolly World, then you're scanning in a lot of amiibo. But otherwise, it looks like a fun game coming up soon next month. So that'll be fun
I
to
won't
try out.
lie. I find, at least specifically, Yoshi and Kirby are like two IPs that I feel like have been very like underwhelming over the past.
I want to crawl through this screen, and I just want to grab you. Yoshi's
Okay.
Woolly World was amazing.
All
Okay.
right.
Great game.
I feel like we should separate Kirby and Yoshi because Kirby is more.
Yeah, they're different.
I don't care about Kirby. My girlfriend will murder me for saying this. I don't care about Kirby. She loves Kirby. I don't care. Blah.
How dare you?
Yoshi's Woolly World was awesome. Yoshi's great. Don't.
Does Green's not mean
Alright.
anything to you? Da.
Well, Kirby,
I don't
Kirby
care.
games are usually
Da-da-da.
a lot easier, more for younger audiences, and the Yoshi games
So fun.
they are fun. But
Plays
the
Marks.
Yoshi games usually have that more still kind of like a childish look, but still have some more difficult platforming than you'd find in Kirby,
Yeah.
for sure.
Laying eggs. throwing
Kirby
them at
Star
people.
Allies was probably the easiest game I've played in my entire life. It was
The last
so
one I
easy.
played was the 3DS one of Kirby.
Robobot or
No,
Was Robobot easy?
the
Did
one
you
where
play
like
the-
Super
did you get
Deluxe?
the Kirby Battle Royale game?
deluxe, yeah, the
I want
deluxe.
the.
one.
I want. That was about Royale.
Yeah,
Remember
there's a
that?
Kirby Battle Royale game.
I'm gonna
It's on the
play that.
3DS.
Oh,
Interesting.
3DS.
Was it
I
no?
might
It
give
was.
this Yoshi a
It
try,
was
actually.
called Battle Royale, but I think it's just like Smash Bros.
And it's just 4
It
players.
basically is,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
you're
Battle
looking
Royale
at-
at all.
So what makes you want to pick this one up, Mike? Robin.
It's
Yeah, Mike.
cute.
I said Mike Robin.
Oh.
Well, just the way that you framed it, because I think my sentiments on why that they seemed so like underwhelming was I never thought of it as like, oh, they're just too easy. I guess they are really just sort of too easy.
They are.
I never really found there to be like a lot of variety. I felt like if you played one, even if there's slight variations, at least on Ice Cream Island.
Don't play Yoshi Island and then play Yoshi's Woolly World and tell me that they're the same.
To be fair, Yoshi's Island is the superior game, at least from what I've experienced so far with Woolly World.
Yoshi
and
Island is better.
Yeah,
I love Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
He gets transformed into a helicopter.
Good stuff.
But, I mean, but if it's a bit different, I mean, I guess if it's like more challenging, then I might be inclined to like actually give it a shot.
Okay.
But Kirby, I mean, at least at the very least, I'm kind of done with that series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
I love the character, but
the Yoshi games are definitely about exploration, though.
Smash Bros. Ultimate was a Kirby game.
Yeah, that's all.
Thought that was easy.
Well, I mean,
wasn't easy.
that's Sakurai for you.
That sure is, but we're talking about Yoshi.
It's a Yoshi game too.
Yoshi is in there. Actually, they have the crafted Yoshi skin in there.
It's my favorite skin.
You can hardly tell unless you look carefully. But...
In the microscope. We got individual felts.
All right, and then after Yoshi, we got just handfuls and no. We got handfuls of information on Fire Emblem Three Houses, which looks to be kind of like Fire Emblem Harry Potter, where you pick your house and you actually get to be a professor in one of the houses. So that's exciting. And then it's just kind of bizarre because you're taking your students out into the battlefield, and I'm just thinking of like being a professor and bringing your students out there, and then with Fire Emblem having permadeath, it just seems like
battle school.
It seems
seems
cool. Terrible, but
Your kid failed. He's dead.
You took your children on from the future to death in like the last game, so
if you think about it too much, then it's not a great idea, but at least it doesn't seem like in this game they're trying to pander to all the waifu fans who kind of jumped on the series with Awakening. Not to split fan bases, but there definitely was a big jump when Fire Emblem came to the 3DS. And that's good because that means we got this game. But yeah, so the release date was officially announced for July 26th, slightly delayed from the spring previous announcement. And then they also announced a special edition, which includes the soundtrack, art book, calendar, which I don't know how many special editions I've seen come with a calendar, and the steelbook. So who here is looking to pick up this game when it comes out in July? No?
I have mixed feelings about it.
Okay.
I want to try it.
Because my understanding of like the whole appeal of the Fire Emblem, look, I played Fire Emblem Awakening.
Okay.
I liked it. Did I enjoy the waifu parts? Yes. But that's not why I enjoyed Fire Emblem.
Sure.
It was more it was about, collecting this like ragtag group of like soldiers and sort of personalizing like your army.
Yep.
And I couldn't find that sort of, and I think that's like almost universal for all the Fire Emblems, right? It's like you get to know all the characters and build your party around that.
Yep.
I haven't really gotten that sense at all from like the trailers and I think that has to do with the setting, right? Because they're in a school, they all wear like school uniforms and everything. They
all do look very similar.
Their only distinguishing feature is just like their face and their hair color, and like
as people are.
Yeah, but like there's usually more like elements to the character design that indicate like their personalities, like their hopes, their goals, and everything. I don't have any sort of impression of that like whatsoever from the trailer.
And especially in Fire Emblem, the weapon that they carry is a key part of their character.
Yeah. I'm very unfamiliar with the Fire Emblem series as a whole. So I'm just hoping that this game will be $30 on Black Friday, and I'll get it then.
Okay.
So which one of the characters?
So you're never getting the game, is what you're saying.
I mean, there were some games this year that were severely discounted on Black Friday that were Nintendo IPs. So I don't think it's unrealistic if Fire Emblem Three Houses doesn't sell well that it might drop down to 30 for Black Friday.
Very wishful thinking on you.
But it'll probably sell fine.
We'll see.
We'll see,
in
though.
Japan.
They
In
seem pretty
Japan.
confident in this product. They devoted how many minutes, like, to this?
I think
to
it
this
was
one
10.
direct?
5 minutes.
So
like
that would be like a
commercial.
third of the direct, about.
Was it really that long?
Yeah, see, that was the thing. It didn't seem very long compared to the other reveals, just because they're so short. It seemed a bit longer, but it really wasn't terribly long. Not anything like the Smash portion of the E3 Direct.
Oh yeah,
But-
you're right.
Yeah. And after we had all that fun news about the new Fire Emblem, we had the reveal for the 2019 Game of the Year, Tetris 99.
Okay.
Yes, sounds awesome.
So dumb.
It's good.
So for those of you who have been under a rock for the last 4 days, Tetris 99 is essentially Tetris Attack Battle Royale. So you have 99 people in one server, and you're trying to build up your stacks and then clear them quickly to send more lines over to your opponents. And you can choose to attack based upon who has more KOs, who has more badges, other people who are specifically attacking other attackers. And I haven't really gotten too deep into the metagame at all yet, but
The
I don't think anyone has. But yeah,
Game
yeah,
of-
it's 2019. Come on.
And I didn't even like regular Tetris. I was like,
Oh,
whatever.
boy.
I mean, you don't have to, I suppose.
Just combine that with like the toxicity of like the competitive online sort of scene. It's just like what a wonderful
Toxic
experience.
Tetris
But Tetris 99
community.
is the toxic god.
Toxic
Like,
Tetris community.
It's the Russians, guys. Come on.
Oh, okay.
imagine if you could just sort of trash talk people while you were playing.
That would be
Tetris.
awesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know who to trash talk. 'Cause I have no idea who's targeting me.
It is difficult to tell because you can't see anyone else's names, and it's hard to tell exactly who you're attacking. Most you can just tell who's attacking you at the time.
Everybody's literally faceless in
yeah.
Tetris 99.
That's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to the team one just because I have a feeling I won't ever be able to get first place in a
The
in a
highest the lowest
single
I've gotten,
battle.
or I guess the lowest I've gotten is like mid-30s.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, I think the highest I got was 13, and the lowest the lowest I think I got was like 95, because it was just like in the first like 30 seconds they like built up like 15 lines on my board, and I was like, okay, this is a bad
Sometimes
start.
you
Let's
die
go on to
really
the
quick.
next one.
It's not really about skill. It's mostly about luck. If you get a lot of people targeting you at once, you're just dead.
Yeah, and
Well, it's a bit random.
the strategy that I've been seeing people bring up was to start slowly, just so just let the blocks drop at the speed that they normally do, just so you can kind of handle your stacks better, and then if a bunch of lines pop up underneath, then you'll have a better chance of being able to clear those more quickly. I haven't tried that out too much yet, but I also saw someone saying that you should focus on building your stack in the middle, but we'll see. I'll try out a bunch of different things, and I'll let you know if I ever win a game. Probably not. That's okay. I still just like playing Tetris. That's fun.
Yeah, it's just fun.
And then we got a reveal for Dead by Daylight coming to the Switch in fall 2019.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The trailer looked so bad.
It looks
It sure
so
Yeah.
It
bad.
looks so bad. They proved that it just doesn't
bad.
run well. Not as good on the PC on the Switch.
Well,
I'm
not
like,
not
dude.
just how it ran, but the character models just don't. It looks
They
like
look
an old game.
Really?
I'm not sure when it
Really
came out.
lower than low on PC. You're like, dude.
It looks bad.
Bring
It's
everything
not
to
like
Switch.
the Switch
Yeah.
can definitely handle it better than what they did. So I think it's more
Are you
so
sure?
it's a bad port. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
That's-
I think it just sort of did a disservice to the game itself. Not
Yeah.
just to like the game on Switch. Like I don't even want to touch the game. I don't even want to touch the game on like PC now.
Yeah.
Or like
Give it
wherever.
to like Panic Button or someone, and I
Rough.
guarantee you they could make
it's
it.
not even like a high like RAM memory usage game. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
Like what the? Come on.
It's just a bad port.
I'm just hoping that was a very early view of the game because it's coming out in fall, so
Okay.
they still have some
Could
time
be.
to make it look good and have it be more playable. But we'll see. And then something that should have no issues running on Switch was announced next, and that's Chapter 1 of Deltarune. And that's coming on the 28th of this month, so that's in about 11 days here. And then they announced that subsequent chapters will be coming to the Switch as well at a later date, and they will not be free. So,
I mean, Toby Fox doesn't even know when like it's gonna come out. Like, what are they gonna say? But I mean, the game's free already. I don't like that is just sort of weird.
Just the first chapter.
right.
Yeah.
Get more people to play it. More people will most likely buy the later chapters.
And
You think
even
it'll be
they could
free on
be-
the Switch?
well,
The
yeah,
whole
so,
entire thing.
so Chapter 1 is free on
Chapter 1.
Switch, and
Yeah.
then
Chapter 1 is.
is free on
Okay.
Switch,
Chapter
and
1
then
is
the
free.
future chapters
good.
will be paid, just like on PC. And then Toby Fox announced on Twitter that even though this is a Nintendo podcast, I have to say that it's also coming to PS4, so it's not like it's a Switch exclusive or anything, which
Right.
would be awesome. But it is kind of cool that that Nintendo reached out to him, or vice versa, and they revealed the console version first on Nintendo. So, yeah, that's kind of neat, of course, because his game is
trailer.
very heavily influenced by Nintendo.
Do you think Sans will be in Smash?
Yes.
Oh, Susie
All right,
Smash.
next game.
So,
No, I was just kidding. I was thinking about it. I don't think it'll actually happen. It would be fun, but if there aren't other bigger indie characters in the game already,
Like Shovel Knight.
I'm not
If Shovel
saying.
Knight, if Shovel Knight didn't get
Oh,
it,
He's
Yeah.
already.
And I'm not saying it's impossible. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I want quote and that's just my 2 cents. I'll leave it at that though. Like from Cave Story.
As in the game too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love Cave Story.
Me too.
I actually played it first on the Switch, and
You'll cry when
it
you
was
beat
a
the
fun
game.
experience. Right, and then after that, an exciting announcement was made that later was disappointing. David Ex Machina was announced to have a demo coming out, and they said they'll be taking some feedback on it. They'll be sending out emails to a couple people who download the demo, and then they said you can also talk to us on social media, let us know how the demo goes, which is never a good idea, but especially on the internet.
I just realized why what you mean by that, yeah.
Never invite people to come over because they're just gonna come over. if
Come
they want
over,
to.
guys.
Yeah, come on, guys, come over to our Twitter and give us
Fun
death
posts.
threats. No, I didn't see. Yeah, fun post.
Post some nice things.
To be fair, I didn't see any death threats, but we'll see. I'm sure that'll come.
You
It's-
said it
it's
was
the internet.
disappointing. Have you tried it? The
Yes,
demo?
the demo was very slow, and everything kind of blends in together. Like your mech stands out, that's fine, but the enemies are kind of hard to see because they're just so far away. I was also playing on docked mode. I never tried out handheld mode
It's
yet.
not 60 FPS.
I don't remember exactly. I don't think it was, but
Oh,
yeah, it was even on a big screen. I don't have a massive TV. I think it's like 42 inches, but even on there, it was difficult to see enemies just because the colors are very similar to the background. The movement's slow, which I know is pretty typical for mech games, but
yeah,
um,
it'll
but
probably.
does the
speed
mech
up
feel
as the
feel
game-
powerful?
yeah,
when it's slow?
this was on my list of games that I was going to get for this year, and playing that demo made me take it off of there.
Ah.
But Yeah, I'd have to see. I'd have to play another demo with the updates that they make to be convinced otherwise. Just because at
And
this
see
point
the
it
price.
doesn't seem worth it.
Did you get an email?
I'm sure it'll be 60. I
Did
didn't
you
get.
get
I did
an
not
email
get an
asking for,
email
like-
yet.
You did. You.
I did not yet. No.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's fine. I'll try it out a little bit more because I only played the first level. I'll see if it gets better. But the first level that I played through is just kind of rough. Which, I mean, they didn't really reveal when it's coming this year yet. But so hopefully they'll have enough time to work on it. Hopefully it's coming out later in this year so they can have plenty of time to make it a good game before it releases. And after that, we had another game that didn't show very well, kind of like Dead by Daylight, which was Grid Auto Sport, which is coming out this summer.
Whoa. No way.
The graphics looked okay. There's definitely a lot of jaggies, but the biggest disappointment was the frame rate. Yeah. The biggest disappointment was the frame rate, especially when they were talking about the Demolition Derby mode. Like, they showed the cars crashing into each other, and it was just like started turning into a slideshow, essentially. Not looking good, but it's another game that's coming out in a few months, so hopefully they'll get that fixed. You can do it, guys. I believe in you. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice was actually one game that looks incredible, and I was really surprised how well it looked like it was running. I don't know if it was truly Switch gameplay that they showed in the Direct, but that's not by any means a game that you can just kind of think, oh yeah, it's just another Switch port. That game looks incredible, and I don't know
It's a good game.
who's porting it, if it's Ninja Theory who's just bringing it over to the Switch, which is another interesting thing since they're owned by Microsoft now.
Yeah, but Microsoft and Nintendo relations are better than ever.
That's true, and it's very
Xbox
possible
Live
that
coming to the Nintendo Switch.
possibly.
Xbox Live.
Possibly.
It's coming. It's
But yeah, Hellblade. It's just interesting because it obviously with Microsoft, but it's possible that it was in the works before they were purchased. Either way, Microsoft publishes Minecraft on every console, so it's not unheard of for Microsoft to do third-party publishing for other systems.
I didn't know this was a port. Actually, I thought this was just like a new thing.
Oh yeah, this
Senua's
It
Sacrifice?
wasn't a very popular game. It kind of went under the radar for the most part.
Nice game, though.
it was very well reviewed.
It was well reviewed. I'm just saying, like, not a lot of people got it, so it didn't get a lot of it didn't get an audience to support it.
Yeah, like every game that gets ported to Switch, it will probably sell best on the Switch. So.
Yeah.
It's almost too stressful to play, but it's
Yeah,
nice.
I've never played the game before, but it's been on my Steam wish list forever, and I always see it on sale during the different summer and winter sales, and I've just never got around to it, so maybe I'll go ahead and give it a try on the Switch, see how it is. I usually prefer to play games like that on PC, but yeah. Give it a go on the go. All right, and then after that we had another game coming to Switch from a third party. This one is Mortal Kombat 11, which is coming on April 23rd. They didn't reveal too much about it, just really the date.
That's impressive.
Also, yeah, absolutely.
It's coming out for a Switch.
Yep.
Nice.
It's coming out on the other consoles as well, so Nintendo is kind of getting there. Maybe next generation they'll have all the third parties locked up, just like Microsoft and Sony. Who knows? They just gotta focus on innovating while also having something that has enough horsepower to run high demanding games. Kind of like the next reveal, Unravel 2, which is coming out on March 22nd. So has anyone had a chance to play any of the Unravel games yet on PC
Is it gonna
consoles? Be free? Oh yeah, absolutely. No.
It was free when it came out for the Xbox One, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, that
that's kinda
was
weird.
that a part of Games Pass or Games with Gold or whatever that is?
I think that must be the case. Like when they talked about
Yeah.
Unravel 2, they're like, it's coming out today. You guys get to play it.
Yeah, I
today."
know that. Yeah, because I remember at E3 they announced it and released it at the same time. And then after that, another third-party game was Assassin's Creed 3. Easy for me to say. Remastered coming to the Switch on May 21st. I've never played this game. Sorry, what was that?
Oh no, I mean, I'm just like, sure, cool. I mean, I gave up on Assassin's Creed like a very long time ago. I heard 3
Sure.
at least.
The funny thing.
Very
It's my least
underwhelming.
favorite. Yeah, it's my least
Yeah,
favorite. Creed.
it looks nicer though.
I
Nicer
wish
on
they
the
I
eyes.
wish they would have remastered the original. I'd much rather have that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'd love that.
I've never
They've done
played
that
the
for
original,
original.
so that would be fun to give that a try. But
Yeah, they did the Ezio trilogy. They did Rogue, but now they're doing 3. So maybe 1 is next, since they're kind of not doing it in any.
yeah, or they'll
order that makes
They
any
know that's what we
sense.
want the most.
They'll
Yeah.
bring Black Flag over.
Sea of Thieves.
I feel like there's like a window. Because Mike, what you said that like the way that we were all like sort of receptive to like an Assassin's Creed 1 remaster, right? I feel like there's like a time window in which anything before that time is like is fine to like remaster, but like for some reason all I can feel like is just like remastering Assassin's Creed 3. That just sort of feels like we're just catching up to Assassin's Creed 3. Like we have the hardware now. It's like, dude, come on.
I thought they weren't even
Maybe
gonna do it. Why?
Maybe they're waiting and they're gonna do a complete remake of the original. They're not just gonna remaster it. They're gonna completely remake it with
Full
their
reboot.
new combat, whole new combat system that's incorporated into Origins and Odyssey. They're gonna, so they could be doing that, which would be awesome.
That would
seeing
be
as
neat.
how the original Assassin's Creed combat is a tad underwhelming in the modern sense.
Okay. Yeah, well, that gives us something to look forward to for the future on Switch, maybe. And then after Assassin's Creed, they announced Final Fantasy VII is coming to the Switch on March 26th.
Making people wait a whole
It's
month
there.
to play
Probably gonna be
7.
Right? And then they also announced Chocobo Mystery Dungeon,
Yay.
which will be releasing, or sorry, they didn't announce it then, but they announced the release date, which is March 20th. And then to round out all the Final Fantasy release dates, Final Fantasy IX is out now, which is the #1 selling game on the eShop this week.
Right, yeah, that's actually really
It
Interesting.
is-
To mention again.
$21.
What's really interesting is that it's like you said, $21 for
I was
some
expecting
reason.
like $10,
Yeah, like come on, dude.
and I saw it was 21, and I was like, no.
Makes you
and
wonder
9
what they're
coming
gonna
out
do
before
with
7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, 7. It's awesome.
I heard 9
Is
was
7
like,
gonna
really
be
good.
50? No.
Which one's 9? Where he plays Cloud?
That's
No.
7.
Okay. No, 9's where he plays Leon, right?
No.
Yes.
9
Okay.
is
No, that's
I
8.
don't know anything. I'm an idiot, I guess.
there's a knight and there's Vivi, the black mage.
Yep.
Oh, I
and
love
then
that
the main
guy.
antagonist is a clown.
Yeah.
That's
Remember-
the best way I can describe that game because that's as much as I know.
Oh, okay.
7 and 9 are typically fought against each other as the greatest Final Fantasy game. Those are the 2 biggest contenders that most fans.
It seems like 12 is usually around the top of the
12
list
is
as
the
well,
top.
but not
12
always
is
at the not always #1, but
10 as
usually
well.
around the
10
top.
as well. 10's usually up there too.
10 is the
Really?
only one that I've
Well,
played.
Really, 10.
10 is the only Final Fantasy game that I've actually played, and it was okay.
15's the only one I've played, and I actually really enjoyed it, but
Hmm.
that was after all of the patches and stuff.
Nice.
Just comparatively, I actually just looked up the Android version for Final Fantasy 9, and that is also priced at $20.
That's ridiculous.
So
That's just so
Interesting. Maybe I'll get it on my phone.
Yeah, dude, just do that.
No, that's bizarre though. Huh. What do you know? So then after we found out that Final Fantasy IX was coming out that same day, we saw a preview for actually a full reveal for a new game that's coming
this
out.
game looks sick.
August
That's
30th.
cool.
I'm really excited about. Yeah.
And the name of it is Astral Chain. It's being developed by Platinum Games with the supervisor Hideki Kamiya, who's well known for the Bayonetta series, Devil May Cry, pretty much every action game that's good. And then it's being directed by Takashi Taura, which is director of Nier Automata or Automata.
Yeah.
I say
Automato.
You can call it whatever you want.
Automata, Tominato.
The sirens are on
The
our
Astral
end.
Chain Police is coming.
Oh, that's me. I think.
Oh.
Sorry.
Anyway.
All right, and then he's got a couple gameplay things in there, like the robo police dogs and giant enemies, like you'd expect from a Platinum game.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have a dual disc from Yu-Gi-Oh with a chain on it that you use to battle your enemies.
You become
and
Dark
then
Magician.
kind of like what we were talking about earlier, where they were like, "It's coming." They did a weird thing at the end of this after the trailer, where they're like, "Did you notice that it looked like they were fighting together as a team?"
Yeah. Really?
And then they just left it at that. It's
then
like
obviously-
trying to hint at a co-op mode or the
I
game
thought
being co-op.
he was just trying to say that was a full feature of the game, that you just fight with another character or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought he was just trying to be
Maybe
cheeky.
they've got something like Xenoblade combat going on where there's synergy
Right.
Yeah.
between the two characters. That could also be it rather than just co-op.
Mhm.
Xenoblade DLC.
I actually thought it was going to be a Xenoblade game because of like the way that because
Yeah,
I played
Watching
Xenoblade
Twitter
2.
reactions, everyone thought it was a Monolith Soft game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
everyone thought it was
It
going to be
definitely-
Monolith Soft.
Yeah, the beginning of the trailer definitely had the look of a
Yeah.
Xenoblade game.
Anime
People were
as
like,
hell.
Xenoblade Chronicles X2, yeah! And I was like, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
I didn't really like X that much. It was
I didn't.
okay, but it's not as good as Chronicles 1 and 2.
I've only played 2, and I like the story a lot, but I hated the combat.
Yeah.
He didn't like the
Everyone was
hexagon.
like, it took me 300 hours to beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and it took me
Oh
35
my God.
hours.
That
It took me
is a long
35
game.
hours. Yeah.
And then after that, they did what we were talking about again, where they're like, "Hey, by the way, Platinum Games is
Yeah,
also working on Bayonetta 3. Remember that, guys?
Still coming. Yeah, it's still
They're
coming,
they're
guys.
still working on it.
It's alive. It's
Okay,
not
next
dead.
game."
Next thing.
That was mean,
then
what
the
they did
best
there. That was
Then they-
mean.
Then they had the best announcement, though. They followed that up with the best announcement.
They absolutely
Yeah,
did,
right.
which is the remake for Link's Awakening, which
Give me Zelda.
I've heard
I
good
love that
things
game.
about it, but it doesn't look like a good game. No.
Oh my god, I love it. I love everything about it. Everyone wants it to be grittier, but this is a game where you
No.
trade an alligator bananas.
No, Zelda.
Is that true?
See, the thing is,
Yeah, there's an
That's
alligator
awesome.
that you give him bananas and he gives you stuff.
I want to give Link a big
Like,
hug.
There's bullet bills in this game and Goombas.
Yeah.
People are expecting Twilight Princess graphics.
Yeah.
This is perfect. This game looks amazing.
Mhm.
I love it.
The Twilight Princess's monsters
Release-
look generic.
release
Ah!
$200
So,
special edition of
the
this
thing
game.
with The Legend of Zelda is that people always say, "Oh, they want to go back to the gritty look of Zelda,"
Yeah.
but with the
Every game
exception
has
of Twilight Princess, Zelda isn't a gritty series.
No. It's like Zelda's trope is every single game that comes out,
Yeah.
fans' initial reaction is, I hate the art! And then years later, they're like, oh, I love the art. The art's great. Except for Twilight Princess, which is the inverse. Everyone loved the art at first, but it did not age it well, and now it looks like crap.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Even
if you go
even the
back and play the
remastered
GameCube
version, even the remaster doesn't look fantastic.
Whereas the HD version of Wind Waker looks gorgeous.
Oh yes,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of cheating because cell shading always looks good in HD.
Yeah, but I mean, they were saying, the original hate was towards the art style, but it looks
Right.
great. They made a good call with that because it ages well.
And besides the art style, the game is fantastic. Yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
I love it.
It looks so good.
So the big things with Link's Awakening that I noticed, it kind of had that similar top-down angle look that they had with Link Between Worlds. It's kind of interesting how they'll figure out the item system, because that's one of the big things that I've been hearing was people's biggest gripe with the original Link's Awakening was
Yeah,
that
it only
it
had
was
one
on the
button.
Game Boy A and B. Yeah, so you only had those 2 buttons to switch between items, and it just really got in the way of the combat. But with the Switch now, we have beautiful X and Y and L and R and ZL and ZR. You can do so many things, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. I'm sure
I won't
that
lie.
they'll make it better.
I won't lie. I'm pretty lukewarm about the whole thing, honestly.
I'm very hot.
Okay.
I'm very hot about it. It is my most anticipated game.
Don't
of
you
the
want
All right,
Flush
so
Link?
Mike Robin, why are you lukewarm on it?
Yes.
I mean, it's just
doesn't like good games.
No, let him talk.
no. Link's Awakening was actually my first Zelda game, and I loved it. But I think narratively, I think there's something really unique about it. In that, like, spoiler alert, but like the whole thing is like a dream world and everything. Yeah, right.
What?
It's
But,
okay. I'm wearing headphones, so.
Yeah, I
And
can't hear.
I feel as though they should be playing
Sorry.
that up more. I would be more excited if it was like sort of maybe this is just like my bias of just like the whole like top-down Zeldas. Although I loved Oracle of Ages and Seasons and everything, but I feel like it would be more inventive. There would be more gained if they translated it to something like a 3D Zelda.
No.
And just so that they could explore like the so that to give the player like more room to explore like the atmosphere, the dreamy like atmosphere of like what
Come
of like
on.
what the narrative is like trying to establish, I feel like that it's kind of a bit weak on the 2D sort of top down sort of experience. It's just my personal opinion, but I do, and again, like I liked Link's Awakening, but
Yeah.
Well,
Remember,
That's
guys, this is improv, so there's no no's. It's just yes and.
oh,
No.
okay.
no, you don't
You're
have
fired.
to agree with like everything I say. I mean,
Well, I do understand the want for like a 3D Zelda, but
I'm gonna have to, as a Zelda
I do understand.
journalist, I'm gonna have to disagree with you completely. 2D Zelda needs to stay alive, and Link's Awakening is the perfect 2D Zelda for them to begin remaking. Because if this does well, I think we'll see other ones remade in the future, and that's all I want. I want to see these old original Zelda games put into the modern style, but I want them to retain what makes them what they originally were. They need to enhance upon the original experience, not alter the original experience.
But the
Making it a 3D
It's also
game
enhanced.
would
The
make
concerning
it a
thing-
completely different experience.
The concerning thing, I think this was actually your article, Mike, that was published recently about Link's Awakening, and
I didn't write anything about Link's Awakening.
not you. Okay, it must have been a different Mike.
Yeah, it might have been
We have a lot.
Magarelli.
hey man, the more the merrier. Can't have enough of us.
But no, they were writing about the concern because the original Link's Awakening was about a 10-hour game,
Yeah.
and anticipation is that this game is going to be $60 like every other big release, first-party release. I think there might have been one that was $50 here or there, but that's beside the point. It is concerning that they might try to charge that much for a game that's only 10 hours long.
Resident Evil 2 is only 10 hours long, but it's $60.
Yeah, that's
That means
expensive.
they'd have a lot of content in Resident Evil 2, though. So
It has 10 hours of content.
yeah, plus the DLC missions are free.
Yeah, but
Plus
that's
all the
that's
tofu
massive. We
missions.
didn't know that was coming when it was released. That was
So
announced after
just
it came
because
out.
another game
You're
is doing
gosh
it doesn't
darn
mean
right.
that it's fine.
Yeah, so people spent
That
$60
is.
on a 10-hour game.
I can't beat you, can I?
No, I was just saying that just because there's another game over on the other side that does it doesn't mean that it's okay. It's not
I'm
okay
not saying
when they
it's
do
okay.
it either.
I'm just saying it happens.
Hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
It
So
is.
it's not
10
surprising
hours is a lot
that
of
does
time.
happen.
That's true. Yeah, 10 hours can be a lot
And
of time.
I mean, you have to understand.
can also
back
be
at
beaten
that
in a
time
day.
when these games were coming out, all games were 10 hours and they were priced this much. It's just the standards
Well,
of the community have changed.
Because the thing was that originally was released on a mobile console, so it probably I don't have no idea what it was originally
No, it
released
wasn't,
at.
I'm just saying the older game, the home console games that did come out at that time were still priced around what they're priced now.
Sure,
Actually,
so like around
sometime
$40
Yeah,
for the
So-
for a handheld.
yeah, but like I think what on the NES and stuff, games could go as much as $80 sometimes, and they were
Mhm.
short games. It's just the standards of the community that have changed. That now deems 10-hour games as not worth as much. I think it's more so about the quality. I'd rather pay $60 for a 10-hour amazing experience than pay $60 for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that has 300 hours of content, but it's just horrible gameplay and sucks.
Omar, I think that's actually the what that point about like $10, like not $10, $60 for 10 hours of gameplay. I think that's actually kind of the basis of why I would want like a transition to a different sort of thing. Because if I'm going to pay $60 for like a 10-hour gaming experience, I would want something new. I would want, because I've already played Link's Awakening, and I mean, as much as I'd like to play it again, like with a different experience, like with revamped models and everything, I don't want to play it badly enough to like for $60.
Absolutely.
Just wait for Breath of the Wild 2. It's coming.
Why would they be called Breath of the Wild 2?
To be fair, I'm absolutely going to pick this game up at midnight when it releases, or I should say I'm going to download it.
$300 for this game, and I'd be getting it day one. It doesn't matter.
Are there waifus?
I think $300 would be pushing it.
Are there waifus in it? There is actually waifu in Awakening.
Oh, well,
all right, it's a day one buy for Tristan then.
Yeah, dude.
Good game.
Good game.
So, I didn't have this in the notes, but I feel like that's fitting. So, for a couple minutes before we wrap up here, I want to talk about what we didn't see in the Direct. So,
you better be bringing up what I think you're about to bring up, because I was going to bring it up if you didn't bring it up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Silk Song?
I'm going to bring up... What's that?
Are you bringing up Silk Song?
Oh.
Is that what you're bringing up?
No.
Because you could bring it up.
No, I'm not going to bring that up, but that is a good point that they're releasing a sequel to Hollow Knight, which was one of the best reviewed, probably one of the best-selling indie games too on Switch.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then Team Cherry, they're awesome. All 2,100 or 300 something people that backed Hollow Knight, the original one, they are getting this game completely free. That is over $30,000 of revenue that they are sacrificing.
That's right, because it was originally just going to be DLC for the original Hollow Knight.
Yeah. So they are sacrificing, if it's priced the same as Hollow Knight, they are sacrificing over $32,000 for their supporters. And this is an indie studio, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like $32,000 is chump change to Activision. But the fact that Team Cherry is doing this, like, I love them. I'll be buying the game on every platform I own to support them.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice that they're actually being able to put it into a full game. There was another podcast that I was listening to the other day talking about this, how sometimes these indie developers can kind of get stuck with one game when they do something like this with a Kickstarter, and they just need to keep pushing out DLC content for it. They never really get to focus fully on making a different game, which is luckily the case that we got here. But another thing that I wanted to mention that we didn't see at all, there are actually two games that I wanted to mention were Luigi's Mansion and Animal Crossing.
Right, yeah.
Luigi's Mansion makes sense for a fall game, and then Animal Crossing probably makes sense for a later fall game, maybe November.
Yeah.
When it's comfy.
I don't know if it'll be November, because that means it'd be launching alongside Pokemon, and I don't think Nintendo would want to do that.
Okay, then maybe October.
I was
right.
thinking September is probably when we'd see it.
September,
Maybe
yeah.
November.
Yes, and then maybe October for Luigi's.
Yeah, September for Animal Crossing, October for Luigi.
Let's see.
Pokemon in November, and then we'd have like Daemon X Machina and.
We're doing
December.
Nintendo's marketing for them.
Oh man. Off by one day. Halloween's on Thursday this year, and they usually release games on Friday, so no Luigi's Mansion on Halloween, but they can get close.
That would be awesome.
Maybe they'll push their regular release schedule a day back.
Did you guys play the 3DS Luigi's Mansion?
I have not yet, but I love Luigi's Mansion. I actually did a retro review for Culture of Gaming on the original GameCube version, so I'll probably be picking up Dark Moon and the remake of the original at some point, so that I can give them a go in anticipation of 3, because that is my most anticipated Nintendo title of 2019.
Awesome.
I liked the GameCube one. I was not a fan of the 3DS one, so I am just sort of hoping. I'm at least looking forward to. I just don't want them to go back to what they did.
Well, as I point out,
Yeah.
in just about every podcast I'm on here, the Switch is definitely going back to GameCube roots in a lot of game series. You know, they're definitely appealing in a lot of ways to the GameCube fan crowd. So, Super Mario Sunshine 2, you better be coming.
Or it'll be DLC for Odyssey. So we'll see.
Has there been any news about like a Pikmin game?
God.
Or no?
Not so much. I
Odyssey.
feel like if that's another thing that
That's probably
another
a
game we'll
2020
see,
title.
I feel like that would be a surprise E3 reveal, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. And now we have reached the end of the show. Let's go around. Everyone give their 2 cents, short 2 cents on the Direct. Go ahead, Mike Robin.
Overall, I thought it was a bit underwhelming with a couple of really strong points. One really bad point, but I mean, we've already covered that. I don't have to say anymore. But at the very least, the things that I thought were strong, I am looking forward to.
Awesome. Mike Zoke.
Link's Awakening, 10 out of 10. Direct. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all
There we
it
go.
needed. That's all it needed for a 10 out of 10. That's all it needed.
Awesome. Tristan, what do you got?
Well, I like that they're announcing like all the summer games in this Direct, indirectly or directly. Whether they say
Hey.
that we're gonna announce things at a later time and stuff, but at least they're announced all the games, and we are getting more news on other games later on. And I'm assuming they're gonna make a bunch of Directs more frequent, so I guess they could do that.
Yeah.
I'll let
that-
slide this time.
Yeah, that's a good point. They really filled out their next couple months, which were looking kind of empty. And this is the longest time we've ever had to wait for a Direct. I think it's been 5 months. It was the last one. But yeah, I'd say it was a good Direct. I've never played Link's Awakening before, so I don't have as much nostalgia for it, but I'm definitely excited to be able to play it for the first time.
Which I think is a lot of the reason why it's being remade. It's to draw towards a lot of the fans that hadn't played Zelda before Breath of the Wild and trying to
Yeah,
get them
for
into
sure.
a more traditional Zelda experience.
And then I'm also just excited to try out all the other games that were announced, that because there were so many games in here that we just didn't know about before that were announced that are coming out before September.
And this is
So,
before
yeah.
E3. Like, all of the big announcements usually are saved for E3. So
There's a mini
these are
E3.
announcements that these count. These are announcements that they consider small.
So you have
Not at E3.
you have your mini Directs, you have your Nintendo Directs, and then you have your mini E3, which was this one. So
Was this one?
Yeah.
This one was. This one I like. This Direct was better for me than Nintendo's 2018 E3.
yeah.
Their
If you're a
their-
Smash Bros fan, then yeah.
I am a
Maybe
Smash Bros.
not.
fan. I'm just not a major one. You know,
Okay.
I'm
Not
a
a true
Nintendo
Smash
fan.
Brothers fan.
I'm
you're
more
saying.
of a Nintendo fan than just a Smash Bros. fan. I want all of
Nintendo doesn't like that. They
Okay,
like fans.
so Mr. Robin, where
Yo.
can everyone find you?
Okay, hold on, my screen just went black. Okay, cool, we're back.
There we go. Nice.
Sorry. So you can find me generally Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, streaming at the this Twitch site actually, twitch.tv/culture of gaming. Right now I'm finishing up a run of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Nice.
So I've done a pretty decent job of avoiding all the spoilers. It's just a matter of just avoiding any searches on YouTube of Kingdom Hearts related or anything like that.
Don't look at my timeline.
I'm gonna try and see if I can't get something together in which I'm able to commentate on some professional games over the weekends. I'm not as much recently, but I am a League of Legends fan, so I think that would be
Nice.
cool to just sort of live stream the LCS, LES, and also the VG boot camps. But I mean that's probably those are the Smash games, by the way.
Yep.
That's something that I'd have to ask Anthony about. But those would be happening like over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and obviously they would be at times that don't conflict with the podcast.
Awesome.
But yeah.
All right. And Mr. Zoke.
You
What are you
can
working
find
on?
me on Twitter at Mike Zoke, MikeSZOKE. That's where I am. Come look at all of my thoughts on random games I'm playing and watch me express a lot of distaste for games that I'm playing.
Take a deep dive into the mind of Mike Zoke.
That's
Like
pretty
Apex
much what my
Legends.
Twitter feed is. It's just my thoughts. Just here. There's Kingdom Hearts 3. Here's all of my thoughts. It's mostly about the Toy Box world, but
The best world,
yeah, the
actually.
world.
It is pretty
Straight
good.
up.
I watched all 3 Toy Story movies while I was in Toy Box, and I did not leave Toy Box until I finished watching all 3 movies. I spent about 12 hours in Toy Box, and I have like
12 hours of Toy
I-
Box, man, you're
I
crazy.
have, it took
I'm
me
tired of those mechs.
it took me 30 hours to beat the game, so 12 hours of that was just in Toy Box.
Oh boy. That's
I got
awesome.
tired of those mechs, dude. Just
Mechs are
saying.
fun. So Tristan, where can people find you?
You could find me on Twitter at TNTRAYS. There I retweet a bunch of funny jokes. And you could find me on YouTube, youtube.com/TNTRays, REYS, where I make funny videos. And
I'll have to check that out.
yeah, and you can also find me on twitch.tv/TNT3Rays. Yeah, I got a lot of names where I get to also stream whenever I can. I'll make a schedule sometime.
All right, sounds
And
good.
yeah,
And you can find me at OBBANAT on Twitter, where I'll post about video games and cats and Pokemon and everything. Anything that comes into my mind, as long as I'm not at work, because they probably don't like me tweeting at work. So I won't do that.
I'm sorry.
I just run a package belt. I mean, it's not important that I'm paying attention.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mike, and Tristan, for joining me this week. And
Thanks for
all
having
of
us.
you, yeah, absolutely. And everyone else who listened and who will listen in the future and watch us and laugh at our terrible predictions and thoughts.
All of my thoughts are golden.
Okay, sure.
Nothing else.
All right. You guys have a great week.
You too.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.